Okay, thank you. So, yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for the opportunity from UNISEC-Global for me to represent our previous project about Surya Satellite 1, which was the winner of Kipu round in 2018. Um, Currently I'm working in a satellite company in Indonesia as a satellite system engineer in Pasifik Satellite Nusantara. But I was a member of SS-1 team, and currently I represent my team in this presentation. And this presentation probably will not a technical one. It will be more like a project management and system engineering of our satellite. So without further ado, I will start my presentation. So this is the outline of my presentation. I will talk about the background and mission of our satellite, and then the challenges that we face, major milestone, and result and conclusion from our satellite project. This is the background why our satellite was made. Indonesia is the world's largest archipelago country with more than 17,000 islands, and we have um, hundreds of active volcanoes to monitor fast fishing grounds, forest fires, deforestation, and more. So, Indonesia is a prone disaster country, and therefore it is a hard fact that Indonesia needs satellites to connect from one island to another island and collecting remote sensing data and many more. Um, so this is our mission when we built our satellite. SS-1 was born in the early stage of new space era, I can say. Um, at that time, there were lots of university class CubeSat on the other side of the world, um, and the reusable rocket also in an early stage of the before they become um, a famous rocket company like SpaceX right now. And but that kind of things just did not happen in Indonesia. So we think about how about we build the first nanosatellite in Indonesia. And the project aims to develop capacity in satellite technology and give a long-range emergency communication service from space, especially in the amateur radio region. And we also want to disseminate space utilization awareness to public and commercial and also in academics in Indonesia. So this is our satellite, Surya Satellite 1. It is designed based on the Gem Payload Accommodation Handbook, especially for the structure, and it utilizes two-way text message communication payload for amateur radio. We use the FPRS platform in the amateur radio message communications. It can act as a broadcast and digipeater. This is our satellite architecture. Um, as I said before, our satellite broadcasts and digitally repeats amateur radio messages. Any compatible amateur station can hear and decode the broadcast message. Amateur stations can also send messages for our CubeSat to repeat and broadcast their messages. Um, so I can say this is a relatively simple as the first university class CubeSat in our country. We just want to make these things work as the first satellite. So we want to make it as simple as possible. Um, and I will present the challenges of our development. So this might be an open question to all of us. How would you prospect this? Like, we were 13 bachelor students come to you and propose a solid project, so there are no PhD or master students or professor in our team. And we are physics engineering students, not an aerospace students. We want to make Indonesia's first nanosatellite. We don't have heritage, we don't have experience, and we are looking for like-minded people to help the project. We don't have much network at the time, and we need to request your for sponsor. We need funding. We don't have much funding from our university, and yeah, this is the state of the SS-1 project at the beginning. And we faced many challenges throughout the project. Um, the first is always very limited budget. We as yeah as what any other space project at the beginning, and then we also have unstructured project management. Like we don't know how to produce a satellite at the beginning. What is AIT? What is CDR? We have also limited manpower with mixed priority at the time because some of our members are senior students who will graduate and they must finish their thesis or looking for work, looking for their professional career. And that was, I can say, the most challenging part. We also not as aerospace engineer, and we have limited network. And this is what we do as we can see that we have lots of challenge and we have to do something to solve this. And this is what we do to solve the things in our milestones. So I can say this is the first major milestones when we begin the project. Um, we have we are very grateful to our partners, which is the Indonesian Organization of Amateur Radio, who supports us from the beginning of our project. I can say that 2016 is our kickoff and networking states. We networking with many institutions in Indonesia, especially um, BRIN or LAPAN in early stage. This is the Indonesian National Agency of Aerospace. Um, and then we also networking with the Ministry of Communication of Indonesia about the regulation to launch a satellite because we don't have any references at the time. We need to talk to the regulatory holder in Indonesia, and then we also came to many companies to look for sponsors. Um, and fortunately, we also came to APRS AF 2016 in Manila, Philippines. At that conference, will look at Kibokyo presentations, and that is the first contact of um, like the first contact to Kibokyo from our project. Um, the next year in 2017, I can say this is the prototyping stage. We design our structure, we simulate them, and then we develop a flat set of our satellite. I can say it's a massive flat set, and we also sign an MOU with some of private company in Indonesia, especially my company now, PSN. They provide components like solar panel and the other things. And then in the next year, 2018 is I can say the tipping point for us because after make the first prototype for our satellite, um, like we already also have the testing facility with Indonesian Space Agency. The last pieces that we need to find is the launch service provider, and we are actively looking for that. And we found about CuboCube, like I said, in FRSAF 2016 in Manila, and we applied for CuboCube 2018, and gratefully we were selected with also Mauritius at that time. Um, and I can say this is a tipping point of our project. After we signed the MOU with CuboCube program, we kind of step back. We need to finish this. And in 2019 and 2020 is the I can say the realization phase when we manufactured our satellite. Um, we built our structures, engineering models, and then flight models. We get the solar panels from our sponsors, and then we also complete the subsystem design and PCB designs of our satellite. And then we also complete the phase 012 of CuboCube program with JAXA. And then in 2021, there is a big challenge where COVID-19 is at its peak. We have limitation to test facility. We have limitation to schedule our work, but fortunately, I can say that the blessing is in our side. We can finish the testing of our satellite at this year, and then we can conclude the phase 3 review of JAXA and CuboCube program. And in 2022, we launched our satellite, and it deployed in 2023. I can say specifically in January 2023, we deployed our satellite from the ISS. We also want to thank to JAXA in 2022 when we hand over the satellite. They were really helpful. When we have any problem, they can spend their time, their effort to make our satellite installed in the GSOT at the scheduled time. So we were very thankful for JAXA and CuboCube program for this. And this is the deployment event we do in our country. And we held a video conference with JAXA at the time. It was a successful event. Lots of stakeholders in Indonesia came to witness the deployment of our satellite from ISS. There were also Japan embassy in our event. Also, Indonesia Space Agency, a government, and private institutions also came, especially from our sponsors. This is ground session. This is the ground session that we made. We made it in the facility in one of facility of our sponsors and the rooftop of their buildings, and we built it. I can say it's a simple ground station for like amateur satellite. And then for the early phase of operation, we held meetings with the Indonesian chapters of amateur satellites to have their participation in the SS-1 for signal acquisitions, and we were very happy at that time because they were very enthusiastic to help us, and I think it's also because this is a amateur satellite, and we always keep the amateur radio organization involved in SS1 deployment and early operations, and also along the project. They were very helpful to us. Looking at their enthusiasm is one of our support and blessing to realize and orbiting the SS1. Um, and total to the, I can say 33 ground stations participate in the first signal acquisition activity around the Indonesian archipelago from Sumatra to Papua. Um, and during our operations, SS1 has been recorded in several ground stations around the world. Um, there are several in America and Europe, and there is one in Mauritius as well, and of course Indonesia and Australia. Um, I can say this is a success mission since um, the Satelit is turned on and it operated well for about 2 weeks before um, our EPS is malfunctioned and it cannot recharge the battery correctly. And after 2 weeks, we cannot heard any signal from our satellite until the orbit the orbit time on May 2023. So it's about 4 or 5 years in orbit. And for the result and conclusion, um, I can say SS1 is a great breakthrough for capability building in our country because we build it from component level, and SS1 development are results of many in-house experiments. We procure and source the materials mostly from Indonesia as much as possible. Like um, we have test facility in Indonesia, and then we have structure manufactured in Indonesia. Some of our electrical components is also from Indonesia, so I can say this is a good model of capacity building for university class CubeSat. And this is lesson learned what we got from our project. The first is about manpower. To start a solid project in a university, you need to have a committed team from the start until the end of the project. And the team needs to be resilient and passionate in solid development because it is not a short run, it is a long run. It's a multi-years project. And from the 13 members from the beginning of our project, there are only 6 members left at the end. Um, and then the next lesson learned is about network. We need to find experts that can help with your project and learn from their experience because this is if you want to build the first CubeSat in your country, you need to learn from the experts, especially when you don't have any background knowledge about it. And then um, about the knowledge, we do a lot of problem solving, brainstorming, and consulting. The solution is out there actually, but sometimes we don't realize it. Especially we get it from the experts, like I said before. And then we need to expect to fail multiple times for each experiment. It's um, it's not like unestablished technologies in our country, so we need to expect like fail multiple times when we do our experiments ourselves. And then from project side, we need to focus on things that you can control and do what is feasible and essential with the resource that you have. And this is a summary from our result and outreach. Um, of course, we get exposure and media engagement, and then the launch and deployment event from mainstream media. We have like more than 1 billion views when the deployment event happens, and then we got 5 academic publications from our projects, 17 capacity building activities like workshops, seminars, webinars, podcasts, site visits, and many more. And probably this is the um, most valuable impact that I can present about our project in Indonesia. The first is about enabling the stakeholders in Indonesian space industry. Um, I think I can say this is the first time that the academic, private industry, government, and organizations involved in one space project in Indonesia. Um, we enable the capability of uh, structure manufacturing, especially for the space structure in Indonesia. And then we make government and research and academic industry uh, work together for the regulatory and um, testing facility in Indonesia. And from our side, the SS-1 team members, we are currently now are young space professionals in Indonesia. We also got like several scholarship and fellowship um, to get like master's degree in the other country and universities. Like for me, I very grateful because of the KiboKid program and our project. I got a fellowship for my master's degree in Georgia Tech in USA. I just finished my master's this spring and come back to my company like previous month. And then for nanosatellite projects in the future generations, we also have several project enabled by um, our evidence in satellite making. In academics, we have three universities like Indonesia Defense University and then Telkom University. From private enterprise, we have my company, Pasifik Satelit Nusantara, and then PT Netra Teknologi Nusantara, who involved in the development of nanosatellite projects. And I think that's all. And this is a single quote that always in our mind when we develop our satellite. Um, One good test is worth a thousand of expert opinions. This is a quote from Wendell von Braun, the father of rocketry. And thank you. That's my presentations. If you have any questions, you can ask me. And I also drop my email on the corner if you need to contact me in the future. So thank you very much for this opportunity for KiboQ program and JAXA and UNOSA to realize our project. Thank you.